been looking at how we enhance the safety in the rest of the areas of downtown. So late last year, we started a process of really just identifying that the street party atmosphere in downtown really needed to start to diminish, and we wanted to encourage people to patronize businesses and not just come downtown to hang out in the streets. So what that did is it started to kind of remove some of that area in the streets by utilizing bicycle barricades, really just down that center lane of Orange Avenue. And now we're looking to move forward with phase 2 of that program. So what that will look like is kind of expanding that concept onto the other main streets in our downtown entertainment area, which are Central as well as Pine. With the goal then of hopefully in the coming weeks kind of going on to the next phase as we look at reintroducing vehicular traffic into that downtown core at night. So coming downtown to enjoy a fun night out, whether it's seeing your friends or meeting someone new, we definitely don't see that as being over. What we want to encourage is people to come downtown, have those experiences, but patronize our businesses in the process. So we want them to go to the places that line the streets so they can get inside, be safe through the additional safety measures that are in place there, and ultimately get home safely after.
I don't hang out downtown a lot. Describe for me, please, what is currently in place, and if we want to go take a look at what's already there, what can we see?
Sure. So, yeah, absolutely. So at night, right now, approximately about 9 o'clock or so, there's a team of folks that ultimately start to set up that barricading program. It is fully in place by 11 p.m., and that is the target, I should say. What that looks like is bicycle barricades, much like the ones you see outside of the City Hall this morning in the construction area, that line both sides of that center lane. We do have additional security professionals at all the entrance and exits. We keep that area open. We want to make sure that city staff, that's police, fire, code enforcement, have access to that area to matriculate through the area, again, to enhance the safety. But patrons in and of themselves do not freely have access to that area, potentially like they had in the past. We're really trying to just show visually and physically that that area is no longer available for traditional pedestrian travel like it has been for a number of years in downtown. So if someone wants to cross from one side of Orange Avenue to the other, they would need to go to an intersection just like you would in the day.
Gotcha. So we're talking about like Joe's metal barricades right there.
Exactly.
Temporary things that police come in and drop down.
Yeah, it's an MOT company, not specifically police, but yes.
So you guys, when you announced this back in November, you said vehicles will start being able to come down in time.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, it seems like more roads have been blocked off in downtown than before. How long? When are you guys going to get to that point where you reach that final phase?
So I don't think, in our perspective, no additional roads have been closed from that perspective. There have been some additional safety measures as you have additional people in the street to implement putting those barricades in. You have to make sure that they are safe during that process. So the process of having vehicles enter the street is something that we take very seriously because we want to make sure that it's a safe process for all, the vehicles as well as the people in them. So as we move forward, the concept is that now that we see this step as the last component to secure the area, so the Orange Avenue as well as Central and Pine, but over time, and we're hoping that that time is more truncated than the time we've already had, those will start to step back towards the sidewalks. So people will be encouraged to ultimately operate just like they do if you're walking downtown right now. And once we're able to see that and see that the community has kind of fully embraced what the traditional operations will be, that is when we feel it will be overall the safest point to reintroduce traffic in that downtown core. I'm sorry? So it's something that we absolutely took into account in this process. It's why throughout all these components we've had target dates, but we have had nothing that we said, no, this is the date specifically where it will happen. We want to make sure we're monitoring the situation continuously, not only here in downtown, but also what's happening nationwide and worldwide.
So what do you say to the businesses who say they're just not going to get as many customers if these streets are not accessible?
So, the majority of the businesses are telling us actually the opposite. So what we're hearing from businesses is that they're encouraged by having the roads actually reopen to traffic because, as I mentioned before, it encourages people to actually get off the street who are coming downtown and get into their venues where they can ultimately see the rewards of having the increased customer base. Sure. So tomorrow, as I mentioned, the process by which we were ultimately cordoning off that center lane on Orange Avenue will be expanded. So if you've been downtown, since we implemented it late last year with the barricades in that center lane, you will see a similar installation along Central as well as Pine in the downtown entertainment area.
And since you originally started the first phase of this process, how, as far as your assessment goes, would you gauge the success?
So, from our perspective, overall, the process by which we're looking to reintroduce traffic has been successful so far. We've had no significant issues in downtown. We do see a positive progress with people understanding that, okay, it's a little bit different in downtown now, that they need to matriculate into businesses. Obviously, as we continue to move forward, we were in phase one. Phase two, we'll monitor that, but we're hopeful that when we ultimately are able to reopen the roads, that process will yield a safe environment as well as a vibrant environment for all who want to come downtown.
Is the city, when the roads do get reopened, planning on some sort of program, is it temporary barricade to prevent pedestrians from stepping into the street?
With the roads being open, so the process by which the roads are being opened, we're looking at different components. Some things around very kind of areas that we anticipate large pedestrian access, some of our larger establishments. All of that is still being worked out. We're talking to some of the businesses, seeing if it's functional. We have to be aware that we're in a downtown core, and in some places our sidewalks are constrained. And we need to make sure that whatever we're replacing in order to protect people, we're also not creating other issues with access along that public right-of-way.
Can you just clarify one more time? Is this the final phase, or will there be another one down?
So this is phase two. We anticipate that we have to get to phase three at least, which ultimately is kind of reopening that roadway. Is it possible that there's another interim phase, a 2.2 or a 2.5 between now and then? Absolutely. As I mentioned, we want to make sure that we are taking the right methodical approach to this. We don't want to set arbitrary goals or deadlines. Safety is the number one concern, so we're taking the appropriate amount of time to analyze each installation and make sure that the next one is moving us in the right direction.
Further out in the process, downtown 11, we're looking at turning Orange Avenue back into one lane in each direction. How does this process fit into that long-term vision? And would that long-term vision include expanded sidewalks and things that would provide a compromise between housing?
Sure. So I think the concepts are very much aligned. So the DTO action plan, which you're referring to, has conceptually laid out the plan by which vehicular traffic in downtown would not only matriculate one way on many of our corridors, but two-way. But in that, it was a permanent vehicular access. So having those streets open at all times for vehicles, and then having expanded sidewalks in some areas, that would be for additional pedestrian access. So this process actually is a step in the right direction by having vehicular access in downtown at night now, and starts the community really understanding that there's ways to get downtown, both by vehicle and by foot.
Thank you, everyone.
Sure. It's David Barilla. I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Development Board. It's D-A-V-I-D, B as in boy, A-R-I-L-L-A. You got it? No, sorry.